in midfield today, back in the team. Two players from opposite ends of the United spectrum. The vast experience of Roy Keane and the raw promise of 18-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo. They replaced Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's injured, and Nicky Butt. He's not fully fit, though he is on the bench. There was a doubt, too, about John O'Shea, who's missed some training since Tuesday, but he does start. As expected, Arsenal are without Sol Campbell, who is in mourning at the loss of his father. Martin Keown covers for Sol. The two other changes, though, are by choice of the manager. Ray Parlour for Robert Pires in midfield, and Dennis Bergkamp in place of Sylvain Wiltord in attack. Except for Campbell, it is the side that gave a good account of itself against United in the Community Shield.
Not a lot you can say about the systems of play. We know pretty much this is a familiar-looking one, particularly with Giggs and Van Nistelrooy partnership. It's a strong back four, Martin. Very powerful, very strong, so that's we'll be happy with that. It's in midfield, where probably three of this four might not play if United had everybody fit and going, but Phil Neville picked to play alongside Roy Keane. Man of the match performance in this game last year. I think he's been picked deliberately to play against Ashley Cole, to test him, to test his defensive ability, to test his temperament more than anything. So watch United, get him the ball and say, go on, see what you can do against him. And I think from there it's pretty much what you would expect. Arsenal, well, we wondered from midweek what he would do.
Because we did say in midweek that was Arsenal's strongest side.
Yes, we did. But I think this is a different game, and he's talked since Wednesday, Arsene Wenger, about being outfought, outmuscled. No surprise then to see Ray Parlour brought into the side here, along this side. Now, Freddie Ljungberg's got a big job. I talked about Ashley Cole getting attacked. Now, Freddie Ljungberg will want to go forward. It's his natural job, Martin. And I think Arsenal will have a look. Don't be surprised if this doesn't work. And Ashley Cole's been tested. If these two don't swap, Freddie goes over and Ray Parlour comes over and fronts up Ashley Cole because he's better defensively in that department.
Are you surprised about Bergkamp?
A little. I like horses for courses. This is a good ground for Wiltord.
Yeah.
But maybe he's going to say he's hoping to get Bergkamp involved in a deeper area the way he normally does and leave Henry up top on his own. I think that's probably how they're going to start. But the lads are touching it in the studio. This guy is so important. Everyone talks about Henry, but when this boy ticks, when he gets in the ball and he's all over the pitch covering and then influence it ahead, when he ticks like that, Arsenal normally tick too.
By far and away the two most successful clubs since the start of the Premiership. It might well not just be about these two this season, but it is certainly about these two great clubs this afternoon. And here's Ryan Giggs. Parlour in crisply. And Arsenal will be looking for more of the same. Ray Parlour's been something of a talisman for the Gunners on this ground, where they've had some good wins, of course. They've won here in the Premiership in each of the seasons that's ended with them picking up the Premiership crown. And of course, last season they beat Manchester United here in the FA Cup and went on to win that trophy as well. And if Manchester United feel there's some early uncertainty to try and cash in on here, that wouldn't surprise you. If it go for a fast start.
Great go from Giggs. Had a little look, saw Lauren commit himself, flick him outside the left foot and away.
Bergkamp catching O'Shea. He's been more substitute or spectator than player for Arsenal at Old Trafford in recent seasons, but he's in at the outset today, Bergkamp. Kolo Touré, who's the best of the Arsenal back line on Wednesday. Not a great deal of competition in that respect. On several occasions he diffused the danger from Martins, the inter-forward who had such an inspiring first half in particular. Parlour. But a night earlier, it was a stroll in their own park, really, for Manchester United. They made it happen, of course, and made Panathinaikos look woefully weak in the end. Bergkamp right up alongside Ulrich. So Shea who makes the header. Keane is there. Parlour trying to hunt it down for Arsenal. Ferdinand to Gary Neville. Younger brother Philip, as Andy pointed out, in that holding midfield position. But he got a man of the match verdict for when Arsenal were last here in the league. And Manchester United won that game 2-0. And of course drew 2-2 at a crucial stage later in the season at Highbury. So West, pressed by Vieira. And Tingy, the official, saying that Holland will cross the line.
I think Sylvester's quotes to his fellow Frenchman on the Arsenal side might have had a little, they might have a little bearing on it as well. He was less than complimentary about them.
Touched on by Ljungberg. You talk about the Ultor horses for courses. Freddie Ljungberg's got a great record against Manchester United. Scored against them 4 times. Giggs to Quinton Fortune. And Nistelrooy just checked and got the ball by doing that. Flipped forward by Cole. Parlour's header. Arsenal have won both of their away games in the Premiership so far this season, comprehensively at Middlesbrough, less so across town here at the City of Manchester Stadium. But they did show plenty of character that day, coming from behind. Nicely done by Bergkamp. Goals given Arsenal as well. Ljungberg thought that the challenge was a bit brusque on him by Mikael Silvestre. Bergkamp. Gilberto. Ronaldo, who certainly led Charlton a merry dance recently, and he's left Ashley Cole on his backside. A very encouraging contribution there.
Yeah, he nearly put his hip out, Ashley Cole, there, didn't he? Goodness me. He changed the direction, but that's, I think, why he's picked him, Sir Alex, and would have done anyway. It's a really test call. That's why Freddie Ljungberg's got a job on as well.
Player Cam, if you're a Sky Digital viewer, is pointing at Cristiano Ronaldo. Use the red button on the remote. Keane. And Phil Neville giving Ronaldo a chance to express himself again. Vieira trying to get across. This time he just pushed it too far. Ahead the young player from Portugal.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to attract another player over towards him every time, whether it be Patrick Vieira, Freddie Ljungberg, whoever will have a responsibility in a yellow shirt. Then if it's one-on-one v Ashley Cole, he might just need a bit of help today at some time.
Philip Neville having to play any retreat, but good support and good vision from Neville himself to find Keane. Fortune played left back against the Gunners in the Community Shield. Prefers to be further forward and would love to get a run in the team. He's never yet got a Premiership winners medal, Quinton Fortune. Never had enough appearances in 3 winning seasons here. He needs 10, and today it's his 4th already, so this might be his best chance, but of course Manchester United have to win the title.
Yeah.
Lauren. Parlour chasing, and he'll certainly do that with bags of gusto.
And he's quick Sylvester though, Martin, across the ground, isn't he? I think there's a lot of people here at Manchester United believe he's playing now where he's better, where he's best, and that's in one left-sided centre-back. He certainly looked extremely comfortable every time he plays there.
Ferdinand, who's getting his fitness back. He's had a virus, they think. It's shown itself as a pain in the kidney area, and very sharp pain too. O'Shea, closed down by Parlour. Top two, remember, from 6 of the last Premiership seasons, and that way again at the start of this weekend, but not at the moment. After Chelsea's excellent win yesterday. Toure this time. Well, the decision is a throw to Arsenal.
Oh, Giggs is furious, isn't he? Feels he was just bowled over. Colo Toure. Ball's played in. Might have been a case.
Parlour.
Just a little bit of sparring going on early in the games, and it usually is that way.
Parlour just misjudges it there. Fortune. Parlour might get a foot in again, and does. Lauren. Henri. Now Vieira. So often linked in the transfer gossip columns in the newspaper with a move to Manchester United. Couldn't blame Manchester United for expressing an interest.
No.
Lauren.
You see Freddie Ljungberg's intention. He's playing over here on the right-hand side now, so I think that's an area where if he gets himself like that, Patrick Vieira very quickly just trotting. Well, very quickly trotting doesn't make sense, but he's very quickly spotted that he's gone, and he's had to go and fill in. He might have to do that once or twice today.
At the moment, Ljungberg is in the centre of midfield alongside Gilberto and Vieira, just holding that left-hand side berth, where he might be able to help out Ashley Cole. Ferdinand's header. Martin Keown, we haven't mentioned him yet.
First touch, really, I think.
Came back well when Campbell was suspended in Manchester against City. Got the man of the match award. His warrior-like qualities, I'm sure, will be important for Arsenal today. He's had one or two jousts with Ruud van Nistelrooy. One on the particular occasion turned out to be very costly. He was fined £5,000 by the Football Association. Gary Neville. Spin on through to Lehmann, who was in great danger there of taking the ball outside the area.
Well, the feet went out, but whether the ball did it is another thing. Played this ball down the line, he comes out, now the feet go outside, but does he keep the ball in? Looks like he does from here. Just, oh yeah, just. Can you imagine it had slipped?
Just be the sort of decision that Steve Bennett would want early in the game. O'Shea. It's been a lovely cruising style on the ball, hasn't he, for an actually tall man. Very well balanced. Cole, Ljungberg back on the left, and Gary Neville determined not to let him settle on the ball.
Yeah, that looked like an Arsenal throw, so tit for tat over there.
Giggs makes a run, looking for a longer throw. And Manchester United get a corner. Just over 10 minutes gone.
Well, they've got plenty of targets, Manchester United, but you look at the size of Arsenal, they are a big side.
Well, they were caught out in the Community Shield, weren't they, by a Manchester United corner routine with Silvestre scoring in that game.
Well, that wasn't the best corner. I'm not impressed, Sir Alex.
In November, he will complete 17 years as manager of Manchester United. I wonder when ever there will be a manager at this level of the game who would put in such a shift, and he says he's not finished yet, not by any means. Henri. Arsene Wenger completes 7 years at the end of this month. It's the penultimate game of his 7th year in charge. Newcastle at home next Friday, which you can watch with us on Sky Sports. Here's Lauren. O'Shea deals with the ricochet. Silvestre. Keane, now Silvestre's got to use his right foot, or has he? Maybe he should have done.
And that's generous in the extreme from that linesman down that corner. Manchester United get themselves a little bit of a problem. They're trying to be so precise and clearing it, not just putting their foot through the ball, but trying to play out defence admirable. Sometimes you do have to just put your foot through it.
Tim Howard is fitted in very snugly into life at Manchester United. And Fabian Barthez, the goalkeeping spot, was always had an air of show business about it. Howard more matter of fact. Made one very good save, even in the 5-0 win on Tuesday night, from a header at the other end of the ground.
Yeah, I think he's done all right. Just get on with it. No fuss.
Ronaldo. It's Gilberto who brings him down.
He won't be the last. He gets outwitted like this. It's ridiculous. In certain situations, you know, Martin, you get free kicks like that, maybe a little bit further forward, you just say, put it down quickly, give it to the kid again and say, go on, run at them again.
Set up though more deliberately for Ryan Giggs to take.
Hit the post. He's hit the post.
Toure was very unsure as the ball came in. And Jens Lehmann, we've seen these trouble Arsenal in the past.
Trouble everybody in the past. It's as simple as that, because the goalkeeper cannot assume no one's going to get a head on this, so he waits. Somebody gets up, Toure ducks under it. And that's 4 inches away from bringing the first goal to Manchester United.
I think of not very far away from here, the Reebok Stadium.
Yeah.
Ended up then as an own goal. It did touch the defender, who was Martin Keown in those circumstances. It was a very costly moment at the end of last season.
And even as soon as close as Wednesday, I think, wasn't it? Celtic losing the game in Bayern. Because of the Roy Mackay same sort of thing.
It hasn't been a first 15 minutes full of Manchester United momentum, but they've come closest to an opening goal.
Well, no one's had the momentum. Part of the reason is that was because the back fours on both sides have had more possession of the ball than anybody. They've been happy just to go across the back, take the time. As I said, it is a bit like sizing up each other, like what they are, two footballing heavyweights.
Vieira. Cole. Solidly stopped, fairly stopped by Keane, who slid in, got the ball against Vieira, then Cole's there again. Little cameo, not just of this game, but plenty of meaty meetings between the two in the past. Toure's head. Mr. was interested in a longer throw, but Manchester United waste the restart there. Switch on the player cam. Patrick Vieira now for Sky Digital viewers via the red button on the remote. Bergkamp. Keane, of course, played in the back line against Wolves here. Fortune turned into Gilberto's challenge.
No need. Well, he'll be disappointed with himself. He just went too early, and when you've got the kind of pace that man possesses, you needn't. He was in his own half. Look at that. Goodness, that's how quick he is. Well, he is unlucky then. Well, we were right above that as well, I have to say. I was with the linesman on that. This shows you. Difficult job running that line. People as quick as that.
We're supposed to have the better view, aren't we?
Yeah.
throw that was disputed on that far side. Not the first of the afternoon by any means, but Arsenal got it and taken it with a bit of a positive thrust. Now Vieira to Bergkamp. Paul's made a move on the left, but Bergkamp looks to the right to Parler. Paul could make an extra man coming around the back. And he has this theory about Arsenal's crossing, and no one really wants to attack the crosses. It wasn't a particularly good one by Ray Parler's standards there.
If there's one man in the side who will cross it, it would be him, Ray Parler. Yeah, I just think it's something that at the very highest level they're going to have to add to the game along the way, Arsenal, sometime.
There's a lot of rain in Manchester overnight, but the wonderful weather of recent months has returned. Giggs. Ronaldo taking on three. He's put some hands on Ljungberg there. Steve Bennett, who's bedded into the game well himself. A little extra pressure on his broad shoulders today. Unfussily has dealt with it. It's time for an extra touch or two for John O'Shea. It was a weak one towards Silvestre.
He didn't look, it's as simple as that, Mark. He didn't see Henry sprint about 20 yards across field to close off Silvestre down.
Keane. Silvestre looking for the diagonal. I think Giggs might have been his target. Maybe I've done himself injustice, but he's found Ronaldo.
Look at Vieira straight away, Martin. Arsenal captain. Straight over as soon as the ball travelled.
But they conceded the free kick when 2 against 1 in that corner. Could have been a bit more judicious.
This is a lovely ball, I have to say. I think that was his target. Fantastic. And Vieira gets himself right over there right away. A little nudge in the back. That's the Cole indicating he thought there was a little bit of a dive there. Topical.
And they're going to pay a heavy price for conceding the free kick. Giggs takes deep. Van Nistelrooy.
Well, I'm thinking goal. Is it just fractionally too high? I'm not sure. Just peeled off at the back post. It's totally free. Oh, what a chance for that man. Hits the target, he scores, doesn't he? Maybe just leaning back. Maybe mistimes his jump a little. Is he on the way down as he meets it? No. I think he should hit the target and probably score. First real chance of the match.
He's got a great goal against Arsenal, of course, at Highbury in April. Well, the crowd now are very much roaring for the referee to give Ronaldo a bit more protection. Started against Wolves and didn't really do justice when we were here, Andy, did he?
No, he didn't.
And you just wondered whether the bigger demands of a match like this, well, it's produced a very positive start. For Ronaldo, back to Giggs here, plenty in the middle for Manchester United. Drops to Van Nistelrooy, it's there to be hit, good block by Gilberto. Henry. John Neville did well. Cut out by Keown.
Good possession, not Keown. Ooh, that would be the first booking of the match.
Roy Keane got it wrong.
Well, I think Roy Keane's indicating that's his first tackle in the match. First free kick he's given away. He's probably right, but I think when you race at someone and you're just fractionally out, and I mean he's just fractionally out, you catch him, you do give the referee a problem. Sees the ball's way, it's a little, takes a touch, it gets away from him, and I think when you do that, it's hard to make up a case for the defence, isn't it?
Especially he didn't maintain his own balance.
Yeah.
That if he'd stayed on his feet, maybe, but Gary Lewin having to tend to Laurent. Halfway through the first half, Arsenal have settled into the contest. Van Nistelrooy. So Keown did stay on his feet. He might have matched Van Nistelrooy then, but anyway, Manchester United got the ball back and spread it wide. Ronaldo isolating Cole just for a moment, and he's managed to get across him, which has been deflected though. And here's another corner.
I think that'll be a route that Sir Alex Ferguson will want his team to take, because Freddie Ljungberg is so forward-thinking, Martin, that if it breaks down like it did and Manchester United can transfer it right to Ronaldo, then he is going to at times be 1v1. Again, Vieira was the one who had to try and get across. It's going to be a long trek for him to do that time and time again.
Four coming from the edge of the area for Manchester United. O'Shea is one of them. And it's met by the fists of Jens Lehmann. And then raises an arm for an offside, hesitates with Vieira. He's got to be careful on the edge of the area again. And so he's explored the wider positions of his penalty area on both flanks. And this on the back of a game where he was a bit uncertain coming off his line.
Well, he was there second time, wasn't he? It took a bit of convincing from Patrick Vieira. He actually come and collect it.
He, of course, made his debut in the Community Shield for Arsenal against Manchester United, just like Howard did for United against the Gunners in the same game. Very much a new season of goalkeeping for both these clubs. Henry, plenty of joy against Fabian Barthez in the past. Cole supporting from the inside, and Ronaldo hasn't run with him. What's Ashley Cole going to do here? Well, maybe that's the best way to deal with Ronaldo. Arsenal need to have the ball.
Brilliant break. Top marks for Ashley Cole. You look at him go, Ronaldo doesn't keep up with him. This must be a joy for the fullback to say, here, have a piece of your own medicine. And he's very, very close. Thought he might slide in, Freddie Ljungberg. He did make the run. There he goes across the picture. And he was there to be slid in early. Just get the impression it's beginning to warm. Which, as I say quite rightly in studio, this is a tie that hasn't disappointed over the years, but I think the first 20 minutes or so was pretty lukewarm.
On the subject of cup ties, the Carling Cup, Cardiff against West Ham, Tuesday at 7, Sky Sports 2. And on Wednesday, Coventry against Tottenham, also Sky Sports 2, also at 7. Higgs right up on Toure. Paul Neville. Toure wants to see it out. And you were talking about who plays in front of Ashley Cole. Arsene Wenger isn't the sort of manager to move people around to give them specific assignments. I mean, you tend to know when you see his lineup how they're going to play, and usually he sends them out because he thinks they're better than the opposition and they can do it without tinkering with the tactics too much.
That's admirable 9 times out of 10 in most teams, but I think when you're playing one of your biggest rivals away from home, you have to maybe have a look back and say, yeah, well, that's an area where we could have a problem, he would say to himself. So, why move Freddie Ljungberg? Just move one of them in midfield. But, I mean, he obviously feels not, and, you know, at the moment, it's fine. Ashley Cole's done all right against Ronaldo.
I mean, to be fair to Arsene, he might be thinking, well, Perez has been playing there. I've left him out, so maybe it is a concession for Ronaldo. Of course, he might not have realised that Ronaldo would have started the game.
That's true.
All ifs and buts. It's now not about managers, really. It's about players, and that's where Arsenal are looking to show more responsibility than they did in their last 2 games. And they were tepid, passionless at times, which is very much unlike the way the Gunners have developed over the last 6 or 7 seasons. In reaction to that, Bergkamp back in the team. Well, he did start against Portsmouth. Keogh, a combustible player, if you like, in an atmosphere that can get very heated.
Well, it hasn't even threatened to, has it?
Cole, Vieira, now Ljungberg. Bergkamp. Push and header from Keogh, but it didn't find its intended target. Gilberto. Ronaldo. Who's give and go with Philip Neville. Toure roaring across, but Ronaldo will get there first. Fortune has joined Giggs and Van Nistelrooy in the centre. Arsenal regroup. Quinton Fortune. Only a run that type of which from a wide midfield position can catch opponents out.
That's a good ball, good run, decent header. When he's in that little gap in between players, it's going to be a brilliant header to score from there. And he certainly did look the most convincing as he went to head it. Got it on target, what the goalkeeper.
He scored with a super shot, of course, there against Panathinaikos. First Manchester United goal for 2 years. Keogh. Lauren. We had that embarrassment in Manchester, the own goal against Manchester City 3 weeks ago. Sylvestre. Challenged by Parler, it runs for Henry, who's been on the periphery of the match so far. Much to Manchester United's relief, I'm sure.
Again, a little example again, John O'Shea in trouble, might have just put his foot through it and cleared his lines. He tried to play his way out, got caught in possession.
And another example of Freddie Ljungberg being caught upfield as the ball went to Manchester United right, and again Vieira had to stride across. And can't get that. It's another towed away by Gilberto. There was another of the Arsenal players who was conspicuously below par against Inter. Keane.
I actually thought Gilberto might be the one that was sacrificed today. I thought Parler might go and play in there. And they either might play Wiltord or Perez in one of the wide areas.
Gilberto though finds Ljungberg. Yeah. And a lot of this type of play in the game so far. What Manchester United did at the beginning was play Arsenal on reputation and respect rather than on the Arsenal that they saw on their television screens on Wednesday night. They didn't get in their faces, they didn't offer any cages.
Well, they're playing a dangerous game there. Just about got away with that again. Hugely confident.
Ronaldo on the run. Vieira trying to stay with it. Toure certainly stuck with Van Nistelrooy. Arsene Wenger's very pleased with Kolo Toure, for the record. And how he's handled playing as a centre-back. Toure by Keogh.
Keogh's just giving him a rock. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, Arsene Wenger touched on it. He says part of the problem is lack of communication. There was a classic example. No danger whatsoever. Martin Keown did know what was behind him. Only person, Lauren. Give him a shout. Control it, have possession. Now, because of that lack of communication, Arsenal are still defending the edge of the box.
They have got a legacy of the great defensive days on their staff at the moment in Steve Bold, who's coaching one of the youth sides at Henbury. Went to a drill or two with the first team back four. Quick free kick taken by Ferdinand. Keane. Ronaldo wants it from Giggs. Swept in the cross.
The ball
Comes out to Fortune. Keane. Fortune. Keane again. Couldn't find a way through. He's slipping down, Kolo Touré, but he's still got his head to the ball. Real momentum behind Manchester United now. And Lehmann slows them down.
I'll tell you what I like about Ronaldo, Martin. I think people have said that he might not know when to cross it, when to run at people. There's two great examples where he hasn't needed to take anybody on, and he's whipped in two great crosses.
Sylvestre. Andy, you referred to those Sylvestre quotes. For those viewers who aren't readers of that particular newspaper, he suggested that Arsenal have lost their essential Englishness. Manchester United still have it, and Britishness, if you like. And he was saying French players, his French colleagues at Highbury, bring quality, but they don't necessarily bring that sense of a community, if you like, that Arsenal certainly had before. Henry trying to just set up Bergkamp a bit like Frank Lampard was set up for Chelsea's opening goal yesterday.
Well, just a little example, Martin, of crosses and what I talked about. Now look at Freddie Ljungberg crossing. How many players in the box? No one. Henry and Bergkamp both 10 yards out. You know, and that's, you know, maybe I'm being too picky in old age.
You're remembering all those many great goals you've scored from crosses.
And I'm remembering what great teams do that I've watched in the last 10 years and will watch this year do at times as well. I mean the Real Madrids and Juventuses and Manchester Uniteds of this world, they all cross the ball.
Fortune ricochets out to Roy Keane, trying to find the head of Van Nistelrooy, and Touré intervened.
He's been great again, Martin. Open the 35 minutes, Kolo Touré. I mean, really prominent in defence.
Phil Neville whipping it wide. Ronaldo. Oh, another variation on his game.
But they've just upped the tempo slightly, haven't they, in the last 5 or 6 minutes. That was the shot, but it's his crossing as well that's caused the problem. And this is what I mean, Martin. He's got a little bit of time, but does he think of taking anybody on? No. Shift it and play it. Now, that is a brilliant cross. It really caused a problem. And United, look at the players. 1 there, 2 there, 3 red shirts, all in the penalty area, looking to get on the end of it. And that's the difference. I'm not saying Arsenal cannot play through teams, because they do. Maybe a little variation might be needed.
Slight miscalculation by Gary Neville. And too much on the cross from Bergkamp. I think at any level of football, Andy, you talk about teaching young players to cross the ball. It's always been the way. Get round the back if you can and pile into the middle. But Arsenal have developed their own art form.
And it is an art at times, and beautiful to watch. Roy Keane on Bergkamp. For anyone interested, I'm sure there'll be plenty.
He's got to be careful with those pumping tackles, though. He's already been cautioned. And he has a red card against Arsenal on his record in the past in a FA Cup semi-final replay that he ended up on the right side of the result.
Was that the last ever FA Cup semi-final replay?
It was. You know it was. And you know who scored the last ever goal in the last ever FA Cup semi-final replay.
And he's playing today.
He certainly is. Ryan Giggs.
Might take something like that to break the deadlock today as well.
Giggs to take this corner. Work defensively by Henry.
You know, that's what I mean as well. He can spring as good as anyone I've seen, Thierry Henry. 6 foot plus, great physique, and a good technical header of the ball when I've seen him do it.
Well, Henry at one end and Nistelrooy at the other. They stand a comparison witness maybe two of the greats of the recent two Premiership seasons, plus the 5 games of this. They've each scored 52 goals in that time. That, of course, is Van Nistelrooy's time in the English game. 52 league goals apiece. Van Nistelrooy in 71 games, and Henry in 75. Wonderful. Venture forth.
Oh, I think in games like this one, Martin, are so important. This is a massive game for Arsenal more than Manchester United, I feel, from a mental point of view. You know, sometimes you have to be extremely patient. You have to. The game might not be flowing the way neutrals would love it to be, but the players on the pitch, they've got to be patient. They've got to keep doing the things. Because, you know, so often one goal wins these kind of matches.
And there's the rock. Ronaldo turned his back. Just recall what it struck. Ronaldo had a closer view than we did up here.
I mean, it might hit the arm, Martin, but he does turn his back on it. And it does hit the hand, in fact. But you know, I'm fully in agreement with the referee that you're not given free kicks and penalties for that.
It's been a good spell for Manchester United. Can they crown it with a goal? Lehmann didn't deal with the outswing on the ball,
just as well as captain did.
Toure can only plop it onto the chest of Cristiano Ronaldo. There's the step overs that he loves so much. Phil Neville. His game is a bit more prosaic, but you need both sorts. Parlour. Ramps actually defeated him. Keane refreshed from being left on the bench against Panathinaikos, saying that he's had to accept that he can't play every game these days.
Well, I bet anything that the majority of the games he's fit for, he'll play.
Giggs. Toure was the third man. Gary Neville purposefully. Not sure that Lauren quite wanted it there from Gilberto. And his feet were quick enough to deal with the sideways pass.
Lovely straight through Parlour there against John O'Shea.
There's been plenty of that, hasn't there? I mean, you talk about not be free-flowing, but it's so intense, and in a way it has its own fascination, the way these two giants of the game set out to try and unlock each other, and extra dimension today. It's disappearing fast, really, the lack of calibre in Arsenal's performance in midweek. They've had a good 40 minutes here.
I think the Arsenal manager will be absolutely delighted the way his team have played up till now. Maybe would have wanted more at the attacking end of the pitch. Haven't really threatened apart from the once with Ashley Cole.
Sylvestre. Now O'Shea. Uncertainty between Toure and Jens Lehmann. Carlo Toure, a very serious man about his football. A hungry guy, wants to make his mark in the English game and takes everything that goes wrong for Arsenal very personally. And he felt that he wasn't culpable then.
Well, the only uncertainty was the goalkeeper. He was certain, Toure, what should happen, come and take it. He had enough of a lead on Ryan Giggs not to be too troubled in the end.
There wasn't much on for John O'Shea when he had the ball, and suddenly Arsenal looked as though they were going to give Manchester United a chance that they didn't really deserve in that attack. By Keane. Yeah, happy to lose his footing and set up a free kick. Main target for Arsenal here to get to half-time at 0-0 compared to getting to half-time at 3-0 down, as they were on Wednesday. Gilberto. Finding Giggs. Not to find Fortune. Fortune might get in there again. Shoulder to shoulder with Parla. Good, honest work by both midfield players. And by Philip Neville. That was the sort of thing he did in abundance against Arsenal here last season in the league. And Ronaldo was isolated Ashley Cole, but Cole's quickness on the turn, and he's got a splendid spin in that sense. Not with the danger that time.
They haven't quite clicked into gear, Arsenal at the top end of the pitch, have they, Martin? They've been rather, I wouldn't say happy to contain, but, you know, they know the problems that they have, and that a goal can win this, and Arsenal will happily take a goal in the last 5 minutes and still be in a game.
Great strength by Van Nistelrooy. And Manchester United make a breakthrough so close to half-time. It would be very damaging to Arsenal's morale if they did. Bergkamp. But well under pressure, and then he wasn't entitled to hold off Silvestre. After that, the ball had gone. And been a foul by the Frenchman, and the referee called it even. Vieira. They've seen so much of each other, haven't they? Vieira starting his 8th season at Arsenal. How time has flown by in that respect.
Well, a teenager when he arrived, isn't it?
Laura. Easily dealt with in the air by Mikael Silvestre. Will only be one added minute.
I think probably Alex Ferguson will feel his side have been the better side just about in the first half, without being dominant. Arsene Wenger, on the other hand, I think he'll be very pleased with the way his side have defended, the way they've contained Manchester United for the majority.
It's very rugged by Vieira, and he's caught Keane as well. I talked right at the outset about the need for self-control from the Arsenal players, and just a sign or two that Patrick Vieira might be losing it a bit, and that half-time might come at the right time for him to cool down. Ronaldo.
Well, I think when this boy learns the game and gets a bit more experience, he's going to be an unbelievable threat, showing that he can go both ways, left and right, he's comfortably with.
Ljungberg. Battling on. Where's the ball? Heading Manchester United's way to Keane, and then Van Nistelrooy.
Just for me.
All travelled a distance.
He does that though. He goes offside deliberately, look like that, and then tries to bend it around. I think he's just off. He didn't quite bend it enough, I don't think. But it's a little trick that he has, Matt, where he stands deliberately offside and then bends it back in.
Well, a happier first half on Sunday than it was on Wednesday for Arsene Wenger. There have been troubles, though. Ronaldo is impressed with his sleight of foot. Ryan Giggs with a curling free kick, struck a post. Ruud van Nistelrooy with a headed chance at the far post, put it onto the roof of the net. 0-0 at the break.